Let's be real, most video game adaptations, they're just not good. It's an absolute graveyard of broken promises and fan disappointment. So how on earth did Amazon's Fallout not only break that curse, but create one of the best shows of the year? We're going to dive into exactly how they took a post-nuclear wasteland and turned it into a TV masterpiece.
If you're a fan of the games, you know these 4 words. They hit you right in the gut. War. War never changes. I mean, that's it. That's the entire philosophical core of the Fallout universe. It's this grim, constant reminder about us, about humanity. And you know what? It's the perfect place for us to start.
And wow, what a hit it turned out to be. I mean, Amazon's Fallout didn't just make the gamers happy, which is hard enough, right? No, it pulled in millions of brand new fans and became this massive cultural thing. So the big question is, what was their secret recipe? How did they do it? Well, to figure that out, we've got to start with the world itself.
All right, first things first, let's talk about the wasteland. Because look, to really get Fallout, you have to understand the world. This isn't just some dusty backdrop for the action. It's a living, breathing, and very, very dangerous character all on its own.
Okay, so try to picture this. Imagine the 1950s. The cars, the music, that whole optimistic vibe, but with laser guns and robot butlers. Now imagine all of that getting nuked into oblivion. Fast forward 200+ years, and the great-great-great-grandkids of the survivors start climbing out of these underground bunkers, these vaults. And what they find is a world that is incredibly dangerous, super bizarre, and, honestly, darkly hilarious. That, right there, is the wasteland.
Okay, so a world that massive could easily feel a little unfocused, right? So the show does something really smart. It gives us 3 different tour guides, 3 survivors from totally different corners of this world. And the best part? Their paths are all going to crash into each other as they chase after the exact same thing.
First up, we've got Lucy. She's kind of our eyes and ears in this whole thing. She grew up in one of those underground vaults, raised on this super optimistic, golly gee, let's make the world a better place kind of attitude. And then, bam, she's forced to go to the surface, and her entire squeaky clean worldview just gets completely shattered by the brutal reality of it all.
Then we meet Maximus. He's part of this group called the Brotherhood of Steel. Just think of them as Knights of the Apocalypse, walking around in these huge suits of power armor. Their whole deal is finding and hoarding old-world tech. Maximus, he's just a squire, and he's super ambitious, but he's also really conflicted. He desperately wants to belong, but he's starting to wonder if the Brotherhood's questionable methods are really the right way to go.
And finally, oh man, the absolute scene stealer, the Ghoul. Walton Goggins is just incredible here. This guy is a mutated, cynical bounty hunter who's been kicking around the wasteland for over 200 years. He's seen it all, and he is not impressed. But the real kicker, the thing that makes him so compelling, is finding out who he was before the bombs fell.
And this right here is the show's secret weapon. It's this dual storyline. Through these amazing flashbacks, we get to meet Cooper Howard, the man the Ghoul used to be, a famous Hollywood actor, a family man, the face of Vault-Tec even. And we watch as he slowly uncovers this horrifying conspiracy that ends the world. It's such a brilliant way to show one of the biggest themes of the game, that the good old days maybe weren't so good after all, and how a good person can get twisted into a monster by the choices of the powerful.
Okay, so adapting a video game with decades of lore. It's like walking through a minefield. So many have tried, and pretty much all of them have failed spectacularly. So, what made Fallout the exception? How did they pull it off?
Well, it was a really long road, let me tell you. For more than 10 years, Bethesda, the company that makes the games, just said no to every single pitch that came their way. They were justifiably terrified of someone messing it up. The game changer? Getting someone who was a true fan. That person was Jonathan Nolan. He didn't want to just retell a game story. He pitched a totally new story that would actually be part of the official game universe. And that was the key.
And once that vision was in place, Amazon backed it up with a whole lot of cash. We're talking $153 million for just the first season. When you have that kind of money, it means you can do it right. You can actually build the wasteland instead of just faking it.
And they really put that money to good use. Instead of just sticking everyone in front of a green screen, the crew packed their bags and went to some of the most jaw-droppingly desolate places on the planet. I'm talking about real ghost towns in Namibia, and the Skeleton Coast, which is literally littered with actual shipwrecks. It gives the whole show this gritty, real feeling that you just can't get with computers.
So they had the perfect creative team, they had a massive budget, they had incredible locations. But did it all pay off? Oh yeah.
The answer was a massive, resounding yes. I mean, just look at the numbers. 65 million people watched it in the first 16 days. 65 million. That makes it Amazon's second biggest debut of all time, right behind the Rings of Power. This wasn't just a successful show. It was a straight-up global blockbuster.
And it wasn't one of those things where audiences loved it but critics hated it. Nope, the critics were on board. Big time. It's sitting at a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. For any show, that's amazing. For a video game adaptation, it's practically unheard of. Everyone was praising the sharp writing, the perfect cast, and how they totally nailed that weird, quirky, dark and funny tone of the games.
That critical acclaim then turned into serious industry recognition. We're talking 17, count them, 17 Primetime Emmy nominations. And that includes a nod for Outstanding Drama Series, which is basically the industry saying, okay, this isn't just a good video game show, this is a great television show, period.
But maybe, just maybe, the highest praise of all came from the person who created this whole universe in the first place, Tim Kaine. The guy behind the original Fallout game from back in '97, he said he loved it. And for the most die-hard, long-time fans, that's everything. That's the ultimate validation.
So, with that kind of crazy success, of course, a second season got the green light almost immediately. Which leaves us with one question. What's next for Fallout? Well, the show gave us a massive clue in its final jaw-dropping seconds.
Okay, so when we left off, our unlikely duo, Lucy and the Ghoul, had teamed up. They're chasing after her dad, Hank, who is booking it across the desert. The big cliffhanger is, where exactly is he headed?
And then that final shot reveals it all. The glittering, unmistakable ruins of New Vegas. Now, for anyone who's played the games, this is a huge, huge deal. That's the setting for what many fans think is the best game in the entire series. It's a city of casinos, shady deals, and warring factions. This basically tells us that Season 2 is about to get way deeper and way more complicated.
Ultimately, the show's biggest success is that it proves a great story is a great story, no matter where it comes from. It respected the source material, it honored the legacy, but it wasn't afraid to forge its own path. In the world of Fallout, the end of the world was just the start of the story. And for all of us watching, it really feels like this could be the beginning of a new golden age for adaptation.